Welcome to Unlicensed Opinion, where I, Jack, a girl with zero credentials, gives advice. You bring the chaos, I bring the opinions, and together we pretend it's healthy coping. Hey guys, welcome to Unlicensed Opinion. My name is Jacqueline. The point of this podcast is for you guys to submit crazy stories and me to give my unsolicited, unlicensed opinion. When you think about it, there's probably so many other people in the world that are having a similar issue or drama or situation to you, and someone might be looking for the same advice. A little bit about myself is I was born and raised in Michigan. I went to Michigan State, so go green. And I love to travel and see things in the world, and I love talking, which is why I thought it was a good idea to start this podcast. I have two stories for you guys today, but I just want to preface before that all names, ages, locations have been changed for these people to remain anonymous. Okay, story number one is called Can Guys and Girls Just Be Friends? I'm 24 and I've been dating my girlfriend for about 6 months now. Things between us are honestly really good. We communicate well, we laugh a lot, and I can genuinely see a future with her. But there's one thing that's been sitting in the back of my mind, and I can't tell if I'm overthinking it or if it's something I should actually address. She has a guy best friend she's known since early high school. They've been close for years, long before I even came into the picture. I've met him a handful of times through her, group settings, birthdays, quick hangouts, but I've never spent time with him one-on-one. From what I can tell, he seems like a solid guy. He's respectful to me, he's always defended her when someone talks badly about her, and he clearly cares about her a lot. On the surface, I don't really have a reason to dislike him. What makes things complicated is how involved he is in our relationship, at least emotionally. I've noticed over time that she often goes to him for relationship advice about us. For example, when we had a disagreement early on about how much time we were spending together, she later mentioned that he told her I probably just needed reassurance and that she should be patient with me. Another time, when I forgot an important date and she was upset, she admitted that she vented to him and he told her I needed to step it up if I wanted to keep her. There was also a moment when we were talking about moving in together someday, and she said he warned her not to rush things and to make sure I was really serious. The thing is, I don't think she realizes how that makes me feel. Or maybe she does, and I just haven't said anything. I've never told her that it bothers me that she goes to another guy for advice about our relationship. She talks about it casually, like it's totally normal, and I usually just nod it off because I don't want to seem insecure or controlling. But internally, I can't help but feel weird about it. I don't know what his intentions are. I don't know if he secretly has feelings for her or if he truly just sees her as a friend. I also don't know if I'm uncomfortable because of him or because I'm struggling with the idea that guys and girls can really be just friends at that level of emotional closeness. Part of me wonders if I'd feel different if she was going to a female friend instead. Another part of me worries that he's filling a role that should belong to me, being the person that she talks to first when something's wrong between us. I don't want to accuse her of anything because she's never given me a reason to not trust her. At the same time, I don't want to ignore my feelings and let resentment build up. I'm stuck between wondering if this is a normal insecurity I need to work on my own, or if it's reasonable to say something about her guy best friend being an issue for me. So I'm asking for advice. Should I talk to her about how uncomfortable this makes me, even if I'm not sure there's anything actually wrong? Or is this something I need to accept as part of her life and trust that nothing more is going on? How do you bring something like this up without sounding jealous, insecure, or like you're trying to control who your partner is close with? Let's talk about it. I think the debate of if guys and girls can just be friends is going to be a debate for the end of time. My take on it is I think, and this might be a hot take, I think guys and girls can just be friends. But I think that's only possible if the power lies in the women's hands. So I think guys and girls can be friends. If the girl is on the page of he is just a friend to me, he will always be just a friend to me, it's platonic, he's just a friend. Because my opinion is that most of the time, if a girl were to be like, hey, like, low key, I've been thinking about it and like we should hook up, like, I think the guy would fold. I think the guy would be like, oh, all right, cool. Even if he hasn't thought about it, I think that like the guy would be like, oh, sick. Okay. Like, I don't know. That's just my take. I think guys and girls can just be friends if the girl holds that power in that friendship. However, it's one thing to talk to a guy about like emotional things or relationship problems, because the lines can get blurry on what's acceptable to talk about like the opposite sex with. Um, if she's telling him about like your guys' like intimacy stuff, like to me that like crosses a boundary. It's like, why are you talking about sex with another guy? Like even if it's about me, like I think that's a weird boundary that's crossed. Um, Truly, if she's just going to him about like normal relationship advice on like how should I feel about this? Should I be upset? To me, I don't think that's a problem. As long as the girl is on the mindset of that guy's just a friend. I think this will always be a debate. Um, but most importantly, I think that you should talk to your partner about it. I think you should tell her how it makes you feel. But if I were you, I would be prepared for the response of, he's just a friend. Like, I'm going to him because he's like someone I trust and it's just someone I want an opinion on. And like, sometimes I'll say it, it's way easier getting a guy's opinion or piece of advice because guys are very simple creatures sometimes. And I think girls forget that. And it leads to the girl like overthinking things, or like, oh my gosh, he sent a period after a text, he's mad at me. And then the guy would be like, what? Like, you know what I mean? So like, I don't really see there being an issue talking to a guy best friend about your relationship problems, as long as it doesn't cross that boundary of like intimacy issues. I think that's a whole different ballpark. If you can't talk to your partner about your feelings, then they might not be the right partner for you. I understand you're asking if you should. I don't think it makes you look insecure if you do. I think that means that you trust your partner enough to open that conversation with them. I just would be prepared for that conversation of like, he's just a friend. He was just someone I wanted for an opinion. And if that's the case, then I would set that boundary of, okay, it's one thing, like, let her know. Like, I'm fine if you need like a normal dude opinion, but it becomes uncomfortable to me if like it's about like an intimacy topic or something like that. Like, I would not be scared to talk to your partner about it because it's your partner at the end of the day, and you're supposed to be able to talk to your partner about these things. I'm really curious to what you guys think, if guys and girls can just be friends. It's going to be a hot topic for the end of time. So comment below what your thoughts are. But if it were me, my advice would be talk to your significant other. It's your significant other. You're supposed to be able to talk to them about these things. Just be prepared that it might not be the response of, okay, yeah, I'll stop talking to them about that. Like, the likelihood that that's going to happen is probably slim to none, because she is probably just going to this person as he's a normal friend and I just need a simple guy opinion on something. The second story I have for you today is called, Is It Bad If I Leave My Family? I'm 24, a couple years out of college, and I feel like I'm in this weird gray area where I technically have freedom, but I don't feel fully like I'm living an adult, independent life yet. I still live at home, and honestly, there are a lot of good things about it. I'm saving money, I don't have the constant stress of rent or utilities, and I get to be around my family, who I'm very close with. I know not everyone has that, and I don't take it lightly. My parents are supportive, involved, and genuinely want what they believe is best for me. From a practical standpoint, staying home makes complete sense. But at the same time, I keep feeling this pull to move out of state. It's not about escaping my hometown or running from my family. It's more about wanting to see who I become when I'm on my own. I want to live somewhere new, figure things out without a built in safety net, and experience adulthood in a way that feels fully mine. I think about learning a new city, building new routines, and making decisions without always checking in or considering how it affects everyone else first. My parents see things very differently. Their main focus is stability. They want me to stay, save as much money as possible, and wait until everything is perfectly lined up before I leave. In their minds, there's no rush. They don't see why I would choose higher expenses and uncertainty when I already have a comfortable setup at home. And beyond the financial side, they're also very family oriented. We do a lot together. We're used to being close, and the idea of me moving far away feels like a big emotional shift for them. What's hard is that their opinions don't feel optional. Even when they're not directly telling me no, I can feel their hesitation. When I talk about other cities or job opportunities, the conversation always circles back to reasons it might be better to wait. Sometimes it feels less like advice and more like subtle pressure, even though I know that's not their intention. I also notice how staying home affects my mindset. I'm grateful, but I'm also aware that it keeps me in a very familiar role. I still feel like someone's kid more than I feel like my own person. I don't fully control my environment, my routines, or even how I spend my time, because there's always this underlying sense of being part of the household instead of running my own life. At the same time, I question myself constantly. Am I romanticizing moving away? Am I underestimating how expensive and lonely it could be? Am I being impatient when staying a little longer can put me in a better financial position long term? I don't want to make a decision just to prove independence if it ends up hurting me financially or emotionally. What makes this even harder is the guilt. I don't want my desire to move to feel like rejection to my parents. I don't want them to think I don't appreciate everything they've done for me. I can see how emotional it is for them, and that makes me second guess whether wanting distance is selfish or just part of growing up. So I'm stuck in this constant back and forth. One part of me knows staying home is safe, logical, and responsible. Another part of me feels like if I don't leave soon, I'll miss a window where taking risks feels easier. I don't want to wake up in a few years wondering why I waited so long to try something new. That's why I'm putting this out there. How do you know when it's time to leave a situation that's comfortable but limiting? How much influence should parents have over decisions like this when you're in your mid 20s? And how do you make a choice like this without feeling guilty for wanting more independence or ungrateful for the life you already have? Okay, so to be honest, I instantly have a reaction to this. My reaction is leave. I just think that you always hear people say, like, this is kind of dark, but like, you always hear people like on their deathbed say, like, I wish I would have done more things. I wish I would have traveled more. I wish I would have seen new places. The fact that you're 24, like, this is honestly the perfect time for you to go broke. Um, I think it's the perfect age to move to a new city and be like, oh my gosh, wow, I hate it here. I'm going to move back home. Or, oh my gosh, I love it here. My family is young enough and healthy enough where they can come and visit me on their PTO or during the holidays, or if they're just bored one weekend and want to like book a spontaneous trip. I think that the fact that you're questioning if you would regret not moving later in your later in your life means that you will regret not moving later in your life. Um, so to me, this answer is really simple. You guys might disagree out there, but I think I think your parents saying that it's not financially like responsible. Yes, I get it. This economy is hard. Things are just expensive nowadays. But I really think you have to stay true to yourself. And if you don't like it, or if you go broke, the fact that you're saying your parents like love you so much and love having you there, I think that means that God forbid you were to go broke or something bad were to happen, that they would let you come back to them. So I think now's as good of an age as ever to move somewhere. I think you're early enough in your career where it would be easy to find a different job if you had to move jobs for this. I think that now is the time to take those risks. You're 24, you have a lot of time to make money. And honestly, someone said to me, it's kind of morbid, but someone said to me one time that you don't die with your money. And I think that's something really important to remember, to say yes to trips and to, okay, like I don't ever splurge on myself, like, but I really like this dress. Like, I'm going to buy this dress. Like, it is okay to do it. Obviously, do it smartly and don't forget that there's limitations on that. But I really think now is the time to do it. I might have a little bit of a bias because I love traveling. I have that urge to move out of state. So maybe I have bias with this situation, but I think now's the age to do it. Hopefully, if you hate it, you can move back home or maybe even try a different city. Now's the time to figure it out and think of all the memories that you'll make in this new area as well, and how many friends you'll make. And it's scary, but it's also a really exciting thing. So if it were me, I would say bite the bullet and go for it and live your life with no regrets. So that is all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to give you a little taste of how these episodes would go. Please look in the description for a link to submit stories. The more stories submitted, the better, because we love juicy stories here and we go through a lot for all the episodes. From here on out, I will be having a rotating guest every time, so make sure to tune in next week. because I'll have a surprise guest every week. So thank you guys again for watching. And most importantly, just remember, I am not licensed, but I am opinionated. Bye, guys.